Today I want to speak about one of the founders of the SSE, the Shehebar. He was Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula was the director of the Shehebar Sephardic Center, obviously in the old city of Jerusalem. Very great place, been operating for 45 years. He would provide vision and directional outlook for the yeshiva itself. He was an organizational genius behind the scenes. Remember, this center is a rabbinic Sephardic training program, not just a rabbinic training program, a Dayanut program also, and they have communities all over the entire world, especially in neglected communities. They've got trained more than 300 rabbis. They've influenced many tens of thousands of people. We're going to speak a bit about the center itself in the coming minutes, just to show about the great work he did. But this center itself would mature from a small Sephardic yeshiva with only 10 students into global outreach program. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life, the founder's life. Now, the great rabbi was born in Alexandria in Egypt back in the year 1949. He was born in, and he would spend, I think, the first 12 years of his life over there in Alexandria in Egypt before he'd emigrate to the United States of America with his family. He would receive actually secular education, a degree in civil technology from Staten Island College. This was in the year 1971, and Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula would then go on to realize his dream and would go to learn and study at the famous Yeshivat Porat Yosef in Jerusalem for a staggering 5 years. Now, I believe he would receive his rabbinic ordination come what the year 1977. He would have been about in his late 20s, around 27, 28 years of age at that point in time. And that's interesting. He would work for American youth at the famous Yeshivat Eish Torah in Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem. Obviously, Anglo yeshiva over there. It's overlooking the Kotel. We visited there on this channel also. Subsequently, Rabbi Shamoula would work at a company in Tel Aviv that constructed the Ovda and Ramon air bases in the Negev. So very, very interesting and high-level jobs he would have. But Jewish education was in his blood. And then come on 1980, he would be about, at that stage in time, I think 31 years of age. Together with him and Rabbi Sam Kassin, or also known as Rabbi Sami Kassin, they would open the SSE, the Shehebar Sephardic Center in the old city. Now, the yeshiva had grown in number, grown in reach and purposes. Obviously, now it's a thriving place that's trained many hundreds of rabbis and many dayans across the world, and has influenced probably hundreds of thousands, if not more, people across the world, and that went to many, many different neglected communities and inject with great spirituality and great Jewish centers in of itself, which we're going to speak about maybe in the coming minutes also. More can be said within regards to him. I think he was close with many of the rabbis. He was working along with Rabbi Yaakov Peretz, who was, let's say, the head, also the Rosh Yeshiva of the place itself. He was the chief rabbi also of Neve Yaakov. Rabbi Yaakov Peretz was a great Torah author, authoring many, many books. Also, he was very obviously working together with Rabbi Shlomo Kassin, Rabbi Sam Kassin, also as a founder over there, and also was working together with Rabbi Yosef Shushan, another great rabbi. Now, I believe he was buried in Har HaMenuchot burial plot. He was, I think it was on a Friday morning at that point in time. So he was a very, very much a great rabbi of that specific vicinity in of itself. Now, many people would speak to him. He would inject the Torah, learning with many people, and so on and so forth. And he would help people, especially within regards to articulating Torah discussions, respectively, especially when it came to the realm of how to give over classes. He would personally go to many people who would then influence many other people, especially on the giving Torah classes. I think, unfortunately, Rabbi Shamoula suffered from illness about a year before he passed away, and was taken from the world at a youngish age. But especially during the time period of the Shiva, many of the great rabbis over there spoke about him, spoke about the honor, and so much more within regards to it. How he get injected to so many people, so many, let's just say, hours of Torah and education, and such high levelness, and how he's, influenced the world to a much better place of Torah education, especially the Sephardic world in itself. They actually say that Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula was the angel of reason. That is, let's just say, a terminology given about him in of itself. And he would really talk really about all the different great Torah importances in of itself and so much forth within regards to that. Let's speak about the Shehebar Sephardic Center also within regards to that, because he very much was an integral part of the Sephardic Center, this rabbinic training program in Eretz Israel. And I think it's very important to speak about the history of it, because they have trained itself and influenced so many countries across the world, and much of it comes down to this brilliant organization, brilliant education, and brilliant missions in of itself. I think it was actually inaugurated in 1980. So remember, Rav Shamoula was one of the founders of the Shehebar Sephardic Center in the year 1980. We're talking about 45 years ago from the time of recording. And it's become now an institution with outstanding reputation for high-quality programs, resources for Sephardic communities worldwide. They identify rabbis, they train teachers, mohels, shochets, and spiritual leadership all over the world. It was him and Rabbi Sam Kassin that would start it up in the Old City of Jerusalem back in the year 1980. And what they've done, actually, the SSC itself has reached out to neglected Sephardic communities throughout the diaspora, training rabbis, hundreds of rabbis all over, placed dedicated rabbis, teachers well-versed in all aspects of Torah, to different centers over here, which is absolutely staggering over here. The communities itself provide rabbinical leaders, transform communities, let's just say. They've provided 4 or 5 years rabbinic courses, teaching, let's just say, in the realm of kosher slaughtering, Talmud, marriage, divorce laws, training rabbis to become mohelim, perform circumcisions, and also at the same time, let's just say, imbuing the rich Sephardic heritage. Also, they've provided leadership training programs for these great rabbis, public speaking to become good public speakers, substance abuse training, philosophy, for example, psychology, negotiation, and family counseling. They've done so much across the world in of itself, and more than 200 rabbis have come in, and what they've done through his brilliance also have brought communities to such diverse locations and train people, opening communities in Kowloon, Hong Kong, Buenos Aires in Argentina, Colombia, Cape Town in South Africa, Berlin, Zagreb, so many different places, Philippines, India, so much more. And his organization, which he founded, it was on the belief of training and placing rabbis qualified to teach Jewish law and tradition, and have saved literally Jewish communities and provided Jewish continuity worldwide. So we see the brilliant work that he's been part of it. One of his goals was to also combat assimilation and intermarriage, which was very unfortunately rampant at that point in time over there, and has imbued upon the rabbinic rabbis, spiritual leaders all over the world, great important Jewish values, Torah values inside them, Yirat Shamayim, Avat Chaverim, Avat Hashem, Torah knowledge. And it started only, I think, with 10 rabbinical students, 10 students, a small yeshiva originally, and now they've influenced millions of people across the world, especially if you go all over America, all different cities in USA and Canada. They have touched. They've got a rabbinical spiritual leader over there doing things. All these remote countries across the world, they've influenced so many places. Whether they've opened schools in Uzbekistan, for example, 250 children they brought from Russia to Israel. This is just one of the achievements they've done. So many in Berlin, in Germany, they did a huge amount. In Turkey, for example, in Bogota, in Colombia, in Mumbai, he was India, also in the Philippines. All these different remote places, they boomed the places itself. Zagreb in Croatia, also in Paris in France, in many communities in these places, in large places. There's small communities also that would touch those areas. Also in Portugal, in Belmonte, for example, great rabbis they have trained all over the world. He has actually helped them train, including Rabbi Silas, great rabbis in Thessaloniki in Greece. All over the world they've done it, and it's been really done to his brilliance in of itself. Now he worked also, Rabbi Shamoula, with Rabbi Sam Kassin, who's currently the founder over there. This was in the year 1980. Rabbi Sam Kassin, who they were together working, they were literally the founders of this place. Rabbi Sam Kassin was a son of Rabbanit Esther Sotan and Rabbi Ezra Katzin. Rabbi Sam Kassin himself descends from great rabbis that dates back all the way to 1600 in itself. And he also is a very, very colorful, very charismatic, very great personality in of itself. He's a graduate of Yeshivat Nei Yisrael and also learned in Yeshivat Porat Yosef. I think for 5 years also was also close to Chacham Ovadia Yosef, the spiritual leader. Also, just like what's interesting, they're very, very similar, especially their story to some degree, because Rav Sam Kassin also would teach in Yeshivat Eish HaTorah. Also, I think the experience they both got from Yeshivat Eish HaTorah for the few years that they were there would really help within regards to come up in the year 1980 to imbue what's it called? To start up this Sephardic sense that will influence many, many people worldwide, and so on and so forth. So, so much. These great rabbis would work with other great rabbis all throughout. Rabbi Shamoula and Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula and Rabbi Sam Kassin, including among, let's say, their faculty, included Rabbi Itmar Ashuri, for example, who was obviously a graduate who would be part of the SCC and would receive his smicha also from Rabbi Yaakov Peretz. Also, Rabbi Yoshua Babayav was another integral part connected to them. He was also would receive also smicha from Yeshivat Hebron and giving classes in the SSC. Also, Rabbi Yaakov Ben Ezri, another integral part also of the place. He was heading the Rosh Kollel of the rabbinic training program, building it, and there was, he was part of the team also. Rav Ezra Katzin, I think, also is an integral part of the SSC family, working very much along all throughout with Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula and Rav Sam Kassin. Obviously, energetic rabbi, eloquent speaker, charismatic, brilliant in Talmud. They've nurtured like such a great rabbinic team in of itself, and Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula, the identifying of talent, how to find the talent and make it brilliant, was absolutely amazing. Another great rabbi that was connected to him was being Rabbi David Tovia Kale, also from Europe. They actually nurtured him in, and he obviously with a background in education all over in Jewish philosophy, and so that he would join the team. And especially in 1990, when Rabbi Tubia would actually come and join forces with Rabbi Sam Kassin and Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula, they would be nicknamed, these three rabbis together, Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula, Rabbi Sam Kassin, and Rabbi Tubia. They would be nicknamed the Three Musketeers. Very interesting. They became very well known about that, and would very much go all over and really train and just progress. Let's just say everything else. Another key rabbi of the SSC that worked very much with Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula was being Rabbi Reuven Levtov, obviously an Iranian rabbi, obviously a rabbi that would work in the IDF, would be a combat soldier also. He would receive his rabbinical degree and was one of the original students also along with those rabbis in the SSC, and would teach Judaic studies at SSC respectively. And another rabbi that they were very much obviously close to, Rabbi Yaakov Peretz Zecher Tzadik Livracha, who was obviously from Morocco. He was a chief rabbi of Neve Yaakov. He was Rosh Yeshiva of the SSC along with them, and he was just, I think, guided more than 250 rabbis over there. Many die on him. He was author of more than 12 books, 15 books or something like that. I think he passed away sadly, Rav Peretz, only about a year ago, here from time recording, just over a year ago. And was obviously, they were a team together, an all-star team of great rabbis. Another rabbi that Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula was very, very close to, another rabbi, was Rabbi Yosef Shushan. Rabbi Yosef Shushan, being a Moroccan rabbi, I think he actually came to Israel when he was 3 years of age. He would obviously also be part of the IDF, Israel Defense Forces. He would be part of. He was a captain, I think, of the Israel Defense Forces, I think from 1970. He was a reservist for 25 years and graduate. Also, once again, he had a let's just say a very strong. He had a very, very strong, let's just say, educational. Let's just say academic educational service. He had a BA in philosophy and psychology, but Rav Shushan would be part of the SSC in the year 1982, so 2 years after Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula and Rabbi Sam Kassin would actually start up. He would join the team only 2 years afterwards and receive his rabbinical ordination also, and become an integral part also over there. So that's very, very interesting. So we were speaking today about Rabbi Eliyahu Shamoula, very, very great rabbi, who really guided the SSC into the brilliant organization itself. He was from Alexandria, as we said before. He was buried in Har Menachot, and please learn more within regards to him. And learn more. And wishing you all well. And friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the great chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information from the great rabbis. If you feel anyone's interested in watching these videos, please share these videos also to other people. Tell them to subscribe to the channel. We're nearing 7,500 subscribers, which is a phenomenal achievement. So I think on that note, have a fantastic day. Take care and join the community.